In today's video, I'm going to show you how to radically shift your mindset to declutter your kitchen in 2023. Our actions don't stem from just anything. What starts it for most of us is a thought in our mind. With that being said, changing your thoughts is what will allow you to change your behaviors. So, to enjoy a clean home and learn to declutter means that all you need to do is change how you think about the items in your kitchen. Whether you're trying to make a meal for yourself or your family, cleaning up after yourself, or even just throwing some chicken tenders in the oven is harder in a cluttered kitchen. The reason is that most things in your kitchen don't have a place, making the things you need harder to access. What you need to remember is that in a cluttered kitchen, all the things you don't need are standing in the way of things that you do need. For example, do you really need to have 4 wooden spoons, 4 spatulas, and 2 potato mashers? It's highly unlikely that you do, and removing duplicates or items you don't need to use can make your kitchen so much easier to clean. If you're serious about wanting to declutter your kitchen, then you're going to need to get 3 things. You'll need to get 2 boxes and 1 big black garbage bag. These items make decluttering much easier because it gives everything in your kitchen a home, and that's done through labeling the boxes. Not to mention that this method can be used to declutter your kitchen in any state, even if it's so bad that you could make it on an episode of Hoarders. So, when you have your 2 boxes, you want to label one of them donations and the other time will tell. If one box is bigger than the other, make sure to label the bigger one as donations. If you're starting with a messy kitchen, then that's a good thing because it'll give you clues as to what are problem clutter areas. A great example is starting with your coffee maker. If you go to the area where you make your coffee and you have your coffee beans or ground coffee out, then it's a direct sign that you don't have space to put it away. The logic behind this is that it should be just as easy to take something out as it is to put it away. And if you're purposely keeping your coffee on the counter beside your coffee maker, then it's simply easier to use that way. Want to learn more decluttering and minimalism tips? Then subscribe to Investors Weekly, where we have several videos that can help you become a minimalism master. Once you've made that realization, you want to look around your kitchen for places that would be just as easy to get the coffee as it is to put it away. Typically, this will be a cabinet nearby. Let the coffee guide you where it should go and how you should approach decluttering that specific area to give your coffee a specific home. The goal is to make sure that you don't have to move a single thing to get your coffee out, making it extremely easy to get. When you start filtering out the cabinet that you decide to put something in this case, it's coffee, then you'll quickly realize what's taking up a lot of space and naturally go over items in that cabinet. For example, let's say that you have tablecloths, cups, mugs, plates, and bowls in the cabinet you want to store your coffee. As you go through it, you start to see that you have a bunch of bowls that you haven't used for a very long time. At this point, you need to ask yourself a very important question. Have you used this item in the past year? If the answer is no, then it's an item that isn't serving you for the current place you are in your life. Even if it's an item that you paid a lot of money for, or that you have an attachment to, you need to place it in either the donation bin or the time will tell bin. If you can't let go of the item, then just place it in the time will tell bin. With the bowls having been moved to the bin, you suddenly freed up a ton of space that can easily fit your coffee, without having a pain trying to get them in and out. I want to shift your focus to the garbage bag now. A typical problem that you may encounter is that you don't want to throw away items that are still usable, so you don't waste them. However, giving yourself a free pass on throwing away items has many benefits. Firstly, it's an extremely quick and easy way to get rid of things that can help you clear out your kitchen pretty much immediately. Secondly, it's good for your mental health because you can have peace of mind that your kitchen is in a much better standing for you and your family. Thirdly, it'll help you gain control and realize that throwing away things that are still usable isn't the end of the world. While you shouldn't always resort to this, it's nice to know that you'll be fine if you do. A common example would be that if your kitchen is currently messy, you'll notice things like old mugs, ends of bread, elastics, old utensils, water bottles, etc. While many of these items can be washed and donated, like mugs and utensils, or can be repurposed, like elastics or ends of bread, it's much easier to simply put your garbage back and let yourself go to town by throwing away those items. Unfortunately, it's easy to try and keep an old mug and think you'll wash it and donate it, but it's often forgotten and never used. So if you're someone who's very busy or tends to forget, then don't be afraid to give yourself a free pass where you throw things out that you may otherwise donate. One of the most difficult areas of the kitchen to declutter are pots and pans. The funny thing is that most people have their favorite pots and pans and have several that are almost never used. A unique and helpful trick that can help you reduce your pots and pans is known as the stovetop method. Essentially, you want to take your favorite pots and pans and have one per burner plus an extra. Any other pots and pans that you have but don't have room for on your burner either go in your time will tell bin or your donation bin. This trick is definitely going to be tough for many people to do, so don't pressure yourself into narrowing down your pots and pans quickly. For example, you can pick your favorite 5 pots and pans and store the rest in the time will tell bin. Try out only using the 5 that you have for about a month. If you find that you can make do with these pots and pans, then take the pots in the time will tell bin and throw them in the donation bin. Another difficult aspect of the kitchen to take care of is the dishes. A clear sign that you have too many dishes is if you find that your counter always has some dishes stacked beside your sink with an already full sink. There are 2 ways to deal with a significant amount of dishes. The first way is to run your dishwasher every single night. The second option, which is the easier one, is to limit the number of dishes you have in your home. To clear out dishes, the first step is to wash all the dishes that can be donated. If you have any dishes that are clearly broken and unusable, then throw them in the garbage bag. After you've cleaned up the dishes, find any duplicates like extra water bottles, plates, cups, mugs, and bowls. An important note is that duplicates would be an extra dish that goes beyond your family members. For example, if you're a family of 5, then you should only have 5 sets of dishes, bowls, mugs, etc. However, if you do have people over regularly, then increase the amount to specifically fit that. Like if you often have 2 extra people over, then increase the amount to 7. Bonus tip, if you are saving extra dishes in case you have people over, find a specific place that's out of the way of your daily dishware cabinet to place them so they're out of the way. A vital set of items to clear out are your appliances. Not surprisingly, they're also the hardest to get rid of. However, the same rules apply. That means if you haven't used an appliance in the past year, then you need to place it in either a donation bin or the time will tell bin, without exception. For example, if you have a blender that you haven't used in a year, then it needs to go into one of the bins. One of the last major places to clean up in any kitchen is the pantry. We all know what it's like to have a pantry so full that you can't even place new groceries in it. So it pays to go through your pantry and figure out what you're going to use soon, what groceries you don't plan on using, and if there's anything old that you can throw away. Bonus tip, certain items can be consolidated to make more room. For example, if you're about to finish a bag of oatmeal and have another one ready, you can empty the almost finished bag into the new bag to free up space and make sure you make use of all the content. The last items to touch on are any storage containers for food. Take all your containers and match them up with a lid. If they don't match up with a lid, then place them in one of the 2 bins or throw them in the garbage. Also, if they don't fit into your cabinet space, then place them in one of the 2 bins or throw them away.